Okay, I think we're on. So, I'm not gonna make it very long today, because I just don't want to make anyone too bored out of this. But this is actually a fun one. I'm gonna explain to you briefly how I took this shot, what I used, what are the mistakes I've made, how I would never do it again, unless I would buy some better paint. Yeah, and that's about it. So I'll get to it. So these ones are already edited photographs of me. So that's me and that's me on both pictures. It's a self-portrait shoot. I had the idea of just kind of painting myself. It's not an unusual idea. But for the most part, it looks like, for the most part, people usually take, a professional painter and do like body painting. I'm not a professional painter, not that I have one to do a professional body painting. So I basically bought, there's a shop here in Denmark called Susanne. I think it's also in other parts of the world. And I went and bought acrylic paint. I have used the acrylic paint for other projects before, and of course, it gets on your skin, but then you wash your hands and it washes off. So I'm thinking, okay, so how difficult can it be? So I took the acrylic paint, I put my hair back. Let me see if I can actually show it to you from a reel from my personal, professional page. So let's find the reel somewhere here. Okay. So let me just maybe move myself a little bit to the side. Okay. So this is how I basically took the shot. I had to cut a lot how I was, painting myself a little bit, due to some issues that Instagram posed on me. So they thought there was way too much, let's say explicit content, or maybe I'll move myself here. Explicit content, but it was absolutely nothing explicit here. So I have this one, but I have two poses. I have done two poses. This pose, and then the one in the end, yeah? From my TikTok account that doesn't exist anymore. I have a completely different one. But yeah, it was basically something like this. So I put my hair back, I painted my entire face. I didn't do so much around the eyes. I did a little bit, but you have to be careful with that around your eyes. And then I was trying some poses. But here's the deal. When you take... I didn't actually bother to check just how much that I can see my fingers, not all of them are painted. I only painted what I actually wanted to paint. I couldn't really get so much in my bag. I have like a mini roller that you can paint walls, and I could have done a little bit, but in the end I decided that I tried some few poses before, and I've decided that this is definitely enough. I don't really need to show and expose my back. What a difference in between how I look now and how I look in the reel. So yeah, so going back to these two shots. So basically, what I have discovered was that first of all, the acrylic paint, that's a no-no for the skin. Not because it irritates the skin, it doesn't really, but the thinner the layer, the more difficult it is to wash it off later. I mean, how I edited the photos, I don't remember. Of course, I didn't have to do quite a lot of editing on the skin because everything, all the blemishes and everything were covered. But what I did initially, I had my underwear, and I wanted to, of course, have a little bit of paint on my hair. Okay, so let's just start from the hair. That was a huge mistake. I did wash my hair. Most of it, with emphasis on most of it, came off but not all of it. So I had a lot of paint on in my hair, and it looked like I had either gray hair, or I had, you know, like lice in my, like the lice egg in my hair, which was a total disaster. But you know, it is what it is. But my hair was not as much of a problem, because, you know, if you cannot get rid of the white paint, then buy a hair color and just cover it up. The problem was my skin, and because I shot that last year during summertime, I couldn't get this thing off me for 2 weeks. Not like off me the entire paint, but I had like a lot of patches of paint on my thighs, on my butt, on my arms, like over here, and I couldn't. I was, you know, when you have the dishwasher, not dishwasher, but you have a dishwashing sponge, and that sponge has one is like a softer end, and then the other one is the harder end. I was literally scrubbing my entire body with that hard end of the sponge. So it was horrendously painful, and it still didn't come off. And I was like doing this on my skin and scrubbing it this way and all kinds of way. And I was trying to use some oils to soften it a little bit, and put a cream on my body. I mean, I had to regenerate my skin a little bit. But trust me, body painting, body paints, they come in such tiny tubes that they're like, you know, face painting for kids and stuff, and I actually wanted to have a lot of it. So unfortunately I couldn't get that in the amount that I wanted. And of course, if so, then I would have to go to Panduro, and then it would cost me a lot of money. So I wanted to keep it as budget friendly as possible. So that's a good tip. Try to keep as budget friendly your personal shots as possible. It's also a great challenge. But these two particular photos, oh my god. So I wanted to keep it budget friendly. So I already had paint that I was using for some projects. And I basically reused it, having all kinds of colors, but I don't recommend it on the skin. Unfortunately, I don't. Would I do it again? Probably. If I had to choose budget-friendly something, then this. Budget-friendly this, then more expensive paint, and knowing what I know now, that it wouldn't come off for 2 weeks, I would still do this, only because I would plan it to do it in the winter time, when I actually don't have to go to the beach. Perhaps I was saying a lot of sorries to people that they had to look at me walking around like this. Of course, I wasn't looking like this covered for the most. I mean, from my face, everything came off, and my ears and everything. But other than that, for your own kind of comfort, I don't recommend using acrylic paint that is meant for painting canvas, and not your own skin. So. The body paints that I found, that were either had to come a long way from Amazon or somewhere, or they were in Denmark, that were very expensive. Everything is expensive in Denmark anyways, and they were like undersized, overpriced, and I would have to buy so much. So I thought, you know, I'm not gonna spend. I paid like 20 crowns for a tube of this, and it's super fine. Instead of 1,000 or 2 for some whole bunch of small things that I would use it only once. This one from Susanne Grana is very efficient, but again, it comes with a price later how you look. So yeah, but that's the story behind this photo shoot. I was walking around, you know, with the paint covered for a long time, 2-3 weeks after. In some cases. So I promised to make it quick and not very boring. All my videos, I tend to talk a little bit slowly, so I do recommend that you watch all my videos in a little bit speed mode, at least 1.2 or so. So hopefully you will. No, thank you for today, and I will definitely come back with some more stories about my my unfortunate disasters with self-portrait photo shoots. But trust me, they are ton of fun. That one is still here, and there you have it. And then we can talk about this one maybe as well, how I fell. And man, oh man, how do I get these bruises? Yeah, but thank you for being here.